I am on a mission to spend 1 hour one-on-one with 10,000 different people. So I want you to look around the room for a second, look at the people next to you. There are about 1,000 of you here, so picture having an hour conversation with the person next to you, and then one seat over with them, and then one seat over, and then one row over, and then multiply this room by 5, and that's how many people I have met so far in the last 7 years. I've met 5,242 people to date. And it's been an amazing journey, and I want to share a little bit about it with you today. And I want you to think about depth, because through my project, I've realized the more I interact with the depth of people, the more I acknowledge that it exists. So just to share a quick story, this is my friend Boyana, who I met in April of 2020. And if you remember, that was kind of a difficult time, right? We were still doing 2 weeks to flatten the curve. You heard people being like, just wash your hands and everything's going to be fine, right? That did not work. In April of 2020, I was living in Hoboken, New Jersey, with 2 of my friends, a married couple, and we were in a 750 square foot apartment with their dog. I had the middle bedroom with one window that looked into a brick wall. And above me, I had 2 boys, probably 3 and 5 years old, who I can only imagine every morning woke up 6:30, 7 a.m., went over to their toy chest, grabbed a handful of marbles, threw it on the ground, and just started stomping for the next 5 hours. So yeah, it was kind of a difficult time. But when I met Boyana, my perspective was shifted. So she was from Serbia. I knew nothing about her. And you can see here, I just saw her from the chest up. We were connecting through Zoom. And when we first started talking, she said, "It's been a while since I've shared my story." And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Why has she shared her story? Over the next hour, I came to learn that in July of 2016, Boyana went out with her friends and became the victim of a mass shooting. She was shot 6 to 7 times, the doctor said. She slipped into an 8-day coma, and in that time, she had to have her leg amputated. There are 2 things she told me that day that have since stuck with me. The first is that when she felt herself losing consciousness, she wasn't thinking about the iPhone that she had or the clothes that she was wearing. She was thinking about her loved ones. The second thing was she still likes to go out with her friends. She doesn't want that experience to ruin it for her throughout her life. But she notices now every time she goes out, when she puts on makeup, her body starts to sweat because subconsciously it associates that act with the trauma that followed. To me, that's depth. And I thought it was such an interesting thing because how many of us have these intricacies in our lives that might seem weird from the outside looking in, or it might seem funny, but would make absolute sense if people just took the time to get to know us. So it's depth, and it reminds me of one of my favorite words. Show of hands, anyone ever heard the word sonder here? I see like a couple hands. So it's the realization that everyone around you is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own friends, routines, worries, ambitions, and inherited craziness. So that universe of craziness that's going on in your mind right now, it's going on in all of our minds. And I've always been fascinated by this and the fact that we all have a story. I also have this belief that every human interaction, no matter how brief, has the potential to change your life.